joined alongside Jeff Gorham. It's the Riverside TV Game of the Week, as tonight Canyon Springs takes on Pauley in a matchup that goes back years in the Inland Valley and when they played in other leagues too.
Well, I'll tell you what, Canyon Springs is on the rise. They've gotten a lot better in the last couple of years. New coach, new system. We're not talking great like they were in the 80s and early 90s, but they're on the rise.
So Pauley works with a two-quarterback system, and this year they are rolling right along, led by John Rice, just as they have in so many years with this program.
Well, I'll tell you what, they have a buy-in. That is important when you're trying to build a program. John Rice, Bill Powell, they do a great job. They've got a good young quarterback. They've got guys on the line. They can score some points. They're going to do some damage in this league, and I'm hoping that we're going to see it tonight versus Canyon Springs.
Tonight in a league matchup, it should be an important game. It's homecoming, so it means even more for these players and these fans, and it's coming up next right here on Riverside TV.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
Welcome to the Riverside TV Game of the Week. Tonight from King High School in Riverside, Canyon Springs tangles Pauley in an Inland Valley matchup that has huge league implications. The two schools that have met each other too many times to count. It's another important matchup for them tonight.
I'll tell you what, the Bears won 10 straight versus this Canyon Springs team, but Canyon Springs, for the first time we can say in a long time, they have turned the corner. They are 4-2, and they're looking to come in at Pauley and try to get that upset.
Well, Canyon Springs must be pretty confident as they won the toss and elected to receive to begin the game. So they believe, I'm sure, the Cougars can come out with a strong opening haymaker against this Bears club. Pauley comes in 3-3 this year. They were just introduced tonight in front of a sellout here on Homecoming Saturday. It's a little different feel for these players and coaches on a night like this.
Well, everybody's back, and Riverside Pauley being the oldest high school, 1893 was the inception of this. So I don't believe, unless they brought out, wheeled people out, a lot of alumni, a lot of Riverside dignitaries, a great police presence here tonight. The guys that went to Pauley, I talked to some of those policemen, and they chose to work this game. So a very, very big game on a Saturday night here at King High School.
Number 9, Daniel Otrambo. Number 3, Tyler Humbles is set to return for Canyon Springs. And by the way, Jeff Gorham, on that note, we'll have quite a few names to talk about by the time that tonight is all said and done. Temperature in the mid-60s with a brisk wind coming in from one side to the other of the football stadium tonight. But no conditions to talk about in terms of the play style for these two schools. Number 19, Elishua Deganefe, a junior kickoff man and place kicker, sends it away for the Bears from the 40-yard line to begin the game. It's taken by Daniel Otrambo inside the 5. He slips through a tackle with the flag launched from the far side. He is run out of bounds just across the 20-yard line for Canyon Springs.
Well, Pauley's going to have to start off on defense to see if they can hold the Cougars here in the first drive of this ball game. The Bears have to come out strong, put their statement here early. Coach Rice and Coach Powell are at the helm for the Bears.
That number 1 is Anthony Cueva for Canyon Springs with the penalty. You mentioned before the game the Bears have won 10 in a row against these guys. Last loss, 2006. Do you remember where you were in 2006?
No, I barely remember where I was this morning. What are you talking about?
That's
2006. Right. Come on, Nick Rice.
Well, you were here because you slept over last night.
I made myself nice and comfy. I don't know if you remember, you're probably not a Seinfeld guy, but Seinfeld, I was like George Costanza. I was sleeping under my desk last night.
Oh, were you?
Right here in the press box. I had some, I brought a burrito and just kind of slept with my nice cozy pillow. So it was a wonderful night last night here in the press box.
It's a second down at about 6. That's a run for no gain. I'm more of the office type of guy because, of course, I am.
Stop. Just stop now. That's low-hanging fruit. You say I'm going to start going office stuff on you, and then you're going to be lost because I know everything about the office as well.
Everything about the office.
I do.
Very interesting. Third down at about 6 for Canyon Springs. The Cougars come into this game averaging just over 17 points per game. A productive offense this season out of the Inland Valley League. Bears threaten blitz, but they'll bring just 4 with a twist up front. And that pass sails out of bounds. Oscar Nunez, a sophomore quarterback, overthrew him. The Cougars have begun the game with a 3-and-out.
Great start here by the Bears. Bears matched up one-on-one there on the outside on the spread. A great containment by that defensive line.
Well, the Poly Bears come in fresh off of a blowout win against the Hawks of Citrus Hill last week. They are rolling, led by John Rice, and look very confident to begin the game. They've got a couple of return men fresh off of that 3-and-out. Tajon Henderson sports the number 5 jersey for Poly. He waves fair catch, and Henderson reels it into the 49-yard line. Meanwhile, for the Bears, you talked to John Rice during the coach's perspective a month ago about the 2-quarterback system, and he seemed pretty confident about both signal callers for him.
I'm telling you what, you have a great running game, and you have a young passer that can throw the ball as well. It's nice when you have 2 guys that can play for you. But I want to mention one thing. We talked about Tajon Henderson last week. He was phenomenal, the sophomore running back. We're going to see a lot of him tonight. It's going to be big time with Henderson in the backfield.
Michael Luna, number 11, who had major playing time in the season of 2020, which was shortened due to COVID. Luna, on the first play of the game for Poly, breaks off a run of 24. First down, Bears.
And that's what you're going to get from Luna. You have a high IQ quarterback, able to see plays, get through the holes.
It almost appeared that Luna had some miscommunication with his runner on the read option, so he took matters into his own hands. It didn't take long for Poly to bring in a quarterback change. Will Cloak, the 4th, takes the field. Number 16 is the new signal caller. I figured there'd be a change between drives. I wasn't so sure between plays they would go with the quarterback switch. Cloak fakes the handoff and checks it down to a wide open Henderson, who is shoved out just inside the 10 by Humbles. First down, Poly.
Henderson's older brother was a great football player here at Riverside Poly. Little brother showing he's got his own. Quick feet there. Coaching staff really, really likes this young man.
Well, if he can return like we saw yesterday with Dayton Ford for King High School, if he can play some offense and defense, how about another Lou Groza award?
Lou Groza award
tonight.
The best 2-way player.
On the field tonight, who knows if that's Henderson. He spins to the 5. Tajon Henderson, touchdown. Number 5 for a run of 5, and the Bears are up 6.
I called it. We're going to get a heavy dose of Tajon Henderson tonight. And I'll tell you what, when you have Angel Sanchez, who's the big thunder, you've got lightning with the young fella, Tajon Henderson. No, I think we need to call it the Dale Roberts Award tonight.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. Dale Roberts
No contest
was a legendary Poly football player, class of 1955. He, in fact, last night, Riverside Poly had their first, their inaugural Hall of Fame. You think, being the oldest high school in the city of Riverside, they would have had a Hall of Fame, but no. Darrell Hansen and his staff, the administrators, they had their first Hall of Fame ceremonies last night, and let's call it the Dale Roberts Award. Whoever has the best game tonight, offense, defense, doesn't matter. We're not going Let's go to the Dale Roberts Award tonight.
No contest there. Lou Groza was one of the great two-way players in the game, wasn't he?
He
Kicker,
was.
offense, defense.
Great, but I'm telling you, Dale Roberts, one of my favorite people in the entire world. They called him the Golden Toe when he played because he was a kicker as well. So he did play both sides of the football.
We might be throwing around that Golden Toe acronym next week. Saturday, 6 p.m. RCC in Palomar. More on that later in the game. Return to just across the 20 off of the Degen FA kickoff. And Canyon Springs hopes to make amends for its 3-and-out to begin the game. Cougars set up shop with 1st and 10 at their own 23. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, Riverside TV Game of the Week. Glad you can join us on a Saturday night. Hashtag I Love Riverside on homecoming night, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and a big night for these two schools out of the Inland Valley League. Joseph Castellanos, number 8, with a huge gallop. 14 yards on a first down for Canyon Springs. Inspired run from the junior, a 5'7" tailback with a head of steam. That was an impressive run, longest gain on the night. Two and a half minutes into the game, it's a first down. Another run outside for Gonzalez, and he is running across midfield with the Bears struggling to slow him down. Late flag is thrown. Another Cougar first down. We'll check out the penalty.
Canyon Springs found something they liked, and they're going to go ground and pound. Look at that guy moving those feet, getting those extra yards, moving the sticks.
Elijah Gonzalez with some added assistance from the officials. It appears they'll tack that one on to the 47-yard line. First down, Canyon Springs. Elijah Gonzalez, number 31. Joseph Castellanos, number 8. Both are alongside the quarterback. Castellanos, fresh off his 14-yard run, is swallowed up here after a gain of just a yard.
Matt Ariano, the white hat, is also a teacher here at King High School.
Is he?
And a great Division I basketball official. He's the white hat tonight, calling the game. So it's got to be kind of special for him to be here at it, where he teaches on a daily basis. His father was one of the greatest coaches in Riverside history, Danny Ariano, out of Ramona and Arlington High School.
He sweeps does Joseph Castellanos for a gain of 2 or 3. Officials are alternating across the city, aren't they? They're not just in one stadium every week.
No, they're all over the place. Different crews. So Canyon Springs looks like they've kind of figured this out. Got those Saturday jitters out of the way here.
Those homecoming jitters. The Bears have filled up the seats on a Saturday night. First completion of the ball game from Oscar Nunez. Daniel Otrambo reels it in with a flag thrown. Some laundry early on both sides.
Pass complete to number 9, Daniel Otrambo. Stopped on the play by number 7, Bailey Brown.
There's a hold.
That'll certainly hurt the momentum of this drive. Cougars look confident early. Run or pass against this Bears defense.
See what the Bears do here to adjust to this running game. We just saw a pass there. Coach Rice and Coach Powell, I'm sure, working on the headsets and making their adjustments. It's nice to see everybody, though. A lot of old Riverside guys. I shouldn't say old Riverside people, just ex-Poly alumni here for homecoming. Saw the floats out back. Pretty cool.
Here at King High School. Nunez is going deep. There are 3 Bears in the area, and that pass is overthrown. Bailey Brown was on the coverage for Pauley High School. That third down heave from Nunez is incomplete.
Good talking by the defense. You heard him saying it was passed right away, and they knew. That's a lot of film watching there by the Bears.
I mean, John Rice, I'm sure he never leaves the film room, does he?
Better leave the film room. He looks looks pretty fit to me. If he's
Right.
never leaving the film room, I'd be concerned. But it's nice to have him back. He's missed the last 2 weeks. He was a little under the weather. And so it's nice to see him roaming the sidelines again.
He couldn't miss a Riverside TV game now, could he?
He missed last week. He was watching our game and
Oh.
coaching. He was coaching while watching our game. Did you know that?
That is, some coach just did that earlier this year. I'll get a name on that in a minute.
But yeah, John Rice was coaching from watching our game. He was sitting at home in his lazy boy, probably watching like an 80-inch TV screen
Oh, yeah.
and watching his Bears. I mean, just
He was like,
manhandle. They manhandled Citrus Hill.
He was like Roger Goodell with that fold-up chair during the draft. That was pretty cool. Tajon Henderson is the deep man, but this may not be returnable as that bounces to around the 30-yard line and is down. That goes right along with yesterday's game where we saw the coaches hanging out right next to us.
Yeah, it was a little strange. Tommy Leach, the head coach of Roosevelt, normally on the sidelines, but we're talking about him, and he leans over and
Says, hey, that's
talks
me.
talks to us right before halftime, and then comes back up, and yeah, a little different seeing the head coach up in the booth.
Tonight,
we
it
look
looks
at-
like John Rice is down on the field.
There's John Rice,
In fact,
and his-
there he is.
And Bill Powell right there.
Now that Powell name, that carries here at Pauley High School. Play fake for Michael Luna. Number 11 scrambles for a gain of 3 on the play. As John Rice is in his 3rd season with Pauley High School, the head coach of the Bears took over the reins after a very decorated career in prep coaching. He was the associate for Jason Negro for the 2016 state champion St. John Bosco Braves. And guides the Bears to a 5-4 Inland Valley record so far in his high school tenure at Pauley High School. And searches for his 11th win right here. He's going deep for Luna, that is juggled and nearly intercepted. Wild play for Brown off the hands of Julian Pineda.
Holy smokes. Brown went out and almost nearly got it, but it landed in the hands perfectly to the Cougar. Let's look
What
at
a
this pass
throw.
again. Great pass. And, wow, just bobbled it. And he said, here's a gift.
Must have just been right in the lights for Bailey Brown. Incomplete. And with that, number 16, Will Cloak, the 4th, takes over at the reins for Pauley. 7-0 Bears. A Tajon Henderson 5-yard scoring run is the difference tonight. Cloak looks to his left and guns it to Brown, who this time won't drop it. It's a catch along the boundary. He slips near the marker and may have been about a yard short. Excellent catch for Brown. Ironically, he made the tougher catch on the sideline one play later. Fourth and 1. Pauley's going for it. As you see Bailey Brown talking to the coaching staff on the sideline. The Bears need about 4, maybe 5 feet. It's a long 4th and 1. John Rice wants to talk this one over. Midway through the first quarter, it's the Bears who burn their first time out.
It's nice to be back here, nice and cool. Not as, you were complaining last night. It was freezing. It was.
I was just bringing up a description of yesterday. But with that being said, I'm sure John Rice is feeling nice and cozy down there on the sideline tonight. You talked about the status of this program going into the year with him, and he mentioned this team was incredibly young last year and is still very young this season.
They were undefeated. His freshman team last year in the antiquated season, they were undefeated. And I'll tell you, they had like 40 guys out for the freshman team when other teams around in the area were, they were lucky to get 10 or 12 guys. I mean, that's how much this program has changed in the last few years here at Riverside Poly.
Well, this team only has 12 seniors. The quarterback is one of them who takes the snap, Michael Luna. And that's a first down run. Henderson for 3 to keep the chains moving for Pauley.
And here Luna out. And
I mean, I don't know if I've
Cloak
seen
in.
this sort of situation before. Not just two quarterbacks in between drives, but in between plays. The fact that John Rice can pull that off is pretty impressive.
well, he's going with a power system with one back, and they bring in the young guy that can throw the football. We're going to see a lot of Angel Sanchez carrying the football. Hopefully, he has a broken arm, but he's playing with a cast out there, and I tell you, he is a beast on offense.
Cloak looks to Brown, but shoots it deep to Henderson. Overthrown. Good coverage on the outside by Tyler Humbles, number 3.
I'll tell you what, if I am the Bears, I'd test that secondary all night long. You're getting looks. You're beating them in one-on-one coverage. Throw that ball. You're going to get it. You're going to figure it out quickly here. Just a little bit overthrown, but they've got some deep assets that they can utilize in this offense.
Tyjon Henderson, number 5. Micaiah Alexander, number 80. And Tanner Kirby, number 20. Those are the sort of long-distance targets you're talking about, Jeff Gorham. Midway through the first quarter of a 7-0 game. Bears have the ball near midfield. Cloak on a 3-step drop gets crushed as he throws to Henderson. He comes back and makes the catch and is dragged down to the 26.
And just like I said in that last play, they're going to test that secondary. They can go one-on-one, and they're going to say, hey, you better try to beat us. And I don't think they can stop that arm and the speed on the outside of the Bears.
Fernando Marquez Velasquez on the stop for Canyon Springs. What a throw.
But he took a shot. He said, welcome.
Henderson this time at the receiving end of that one. It's a fake from Henderson. Michael Luna is down to the 22. The Bears, as mentioned, are averaging just under 18 points per game. This offense, though, it seems has some big play potential.
And Will Cloak, obviously maybe a little shaken up after taking a shot.
I wouldn't doubt it.
As they send Luna in. And there it is. I'm telling you right now, we're going to go Angel Sanchez. I'm calling it right now.
Are you? Well, Tyjon Henderson has done some dirty work early, but Sanchez lines up as the back just to the left of Luna, and he is on the lead block for Pauly. Henderson didn't need him. He cuts back to about the 13-yard line. The tackle from Buskey after another impressive run, and a Henderson first down.
Well, you know, you talk a lot about great backs in the area. You know, you got Venancio Mekaele over at North High School. You've got Eddie Elaine over at Novi. But Henderson, though, has a quick first step. A lot of people don't understand that once you get to that line and you have that first quick step, you can create a lot of space. And he appears to be a back that he can run off tackle and find the holes and run opposite. Just a perfect style back for this offense.
Like a Cordero Patterson, he might be their best wide receiver, too. He takes the call, heads to his right. Henderson turns the corner. At the pylon, Henderson was close. Touchdown. The Pauly Bears, what a start for them.
That's the quick step I just talked about. I tell you, he's gaining confidence, and we're seeing it blossom here in the last 2 weeks. Last week against Citrus Hill, I really firmly believe he got that confidence to say, hey, I can play at this level. I'm a sophomore. I can take hits. He took some shots, and right there, we saw that quick first step.
The hold from Cloak, the PAT is blocked by Deganefe, and the Bears find themselves up 13-0. Tyjon Henderson has stolen the show. 5'8", 160 pounds. You wouldn't know it by the size, but he is just very explosive and can shake off contact. There was 3 different Cougars who got a hand on him on that play.
Do you know what the difference between a Cougar and a Bear is?
Ah, dang it.
Do you know the difference?
You know, you keep asking the same question. One of these days, I'm actually going to figure out the answer.
Okay,
to this question.
what's the difference between a bear and a cougar?
Okay, we all know what a bear is, like a grizzly bear.
Okay,
right?
what's a cougar?
A cougar is like
It's a cat.
a leopard.
It's a cat.
Is it like a leopard though, or no? It's a cat.
It's a cougar. It's a mountain lion. It's a cat.
Okay. Was I half right?
You're right.
Yes.
You thought it too deep. It's just
Wait.
it's just a cat. Just, you know, a bigger version of a cool house cat that lives in the mountains. It's like a mountain lion is a cougar.
I act like you're Alex Trebek or something. I'm always so stressed out. Ask you a question. Return out to the 34 by Otrambo.
Number 9, Daniel Otrambo on the return. Tripped up by number 32, Israel.
Bears lead at 13-0, even though the Cougars established an impressive drive their last time out, led by Elijah Gonzalez and also Daniel Otrambo. Joseph Castellanos, too. The 3 runners in the midst of that terrific start for the Cougars on the ground. We'll see if they can establish a bit more through the air. Nunez finds Castellanos in the backfield. He's in trouble, but slips out of 3 Bears defenders. What a run out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 5.
Yeah, great move there. Great. Got to the outside. Thought the edge was going to get him, but, man, cut inside. Made a nice move there by the Cougars. But brought down pretty tough there. He said, Michael Luna said, hello, welcome.
Adriel Sanchez made the tackle.
Is that who that was?
Yeah, that was who that was. First of many calls we anticipate tonight. What a hit. First down of the run from Elijah Gonzalez. Pickup of 10. Let's check out that replay real quick. That's a welcome to homecoming Saturday moment for Gonzalez.
Tackle by number 3, Larry Morris.
Larry Morris made the tackle. I was more worried about him.
Yeah. Another run for Gonzalez, and he crawls to about the 49-yard line.
Gonzalez is a beast.
Sure is.
Number 31, Elijah Gonzalez, the ball carrier.
Now, we don't have a height and weight on him, but I'm sure Jerome Bettis would be proud. Not quite that
Is he the
big,
mini
but-
bus? He's the mini bus.
Mini
you know, or
bus.
the short bus. You know those little buses you see driving around? That's him. He's the mini bus.
Yeah. Gonzalez to the outside. Good luck to whoever touches him first. Down to the 45. So Canyon Springs is led by a rookie head coach, Kyle McFadden. He takes over for longtime head coach Howard Boyd. But the Cougars, McFadden comes in right away, establishes a winning program out of the Inland Valley League. The Cougars are 4-2 overall this year and are hoping to enjoy their first winning season in nearly a decade. Short run from Castellanos. Their last winning season was 2013. They would ensure a winning season with wins in 2 of their final 4 games.
In fact, Lance Pfeiffer was a head coach back in 2013. A La Sierra graduate. His dad, Hal Pfeiffer, a legendary coach here in Riverside. He was at Notre Dame High School for a while. He has passed away since then, but a great coach in the Riverside area. But remember, Canyon Springs in the 80s and 90s won multiple CIF championships. We'll talk more about that later on.
Fumble from Castellanos, but he does recover for a loss of 3.
Yeah, in fact, their 2 best players, I want to say, in the history of Canyon Springs are the Zolmalt brothers, who are now coaching at Orange Vista. They played at UC Berkeley, played at Cal, played in the NFL, but they had won multiple championships at Canyon Springs. Their head coach at the time was a guy named Jack Fogarty, who had left. He was the last coach before Ken Batdorf at Norte Vista, which was, at least 29 or at least 74 years ago, because Ken Batdorf's been there for 28 years, not 74. But
Same thing. Castellanos.
Jack.
Third down stuff for the line of scrimmage. The tackle from Keon Timo, a sophomore.
See, I don't even have notes. I'm just telling you, Jack Fogarty, a legendary coach as well.
That's just crazy.
that I have a brain of, I wouldn't call it useless because I'm talking
you're
about
using it here.
I'm talking about it for Riverside TV here, but
So go home and tell your kids this story.
yeah, I say I learned that Jack Fogarty was a legendary coach at Canyon Springs when they won those multiple championships with the coaches at Orange Vista.
Well, John Rice is trying to be a championship coach for this program this year. The Bears, in their first league game of the season, are off to a hot start as Pauley leads Canyon Springs after 13-0.
One thing I do want to say, though, I'm not a big Pauley fan because I am a Ramona guy, and that's our I'm supposed to dislike them immensely. I really can't because, my best friend, Mark Guard, who's in the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, a Poly graduate, so I kind of like him, so that kind of has endeared me to the Bears. But John Rice and Bill Powell, two of my favorite people in the world. I want one of those Poly sweatshirts that John Rice has on.
That is such a cool sweatshirt.
I'd wear Bill Powell's, too. I mean, they've got great gear at Poly High School. I couldn't wear it at Ramona, that's for sure. I'd get yelled at, but I could wear it around my house and wear it to the movies with my wife, and everybody will think I'm a Poly Bear alumni.
Speaking of that, I'm going to go see James Bond.
You're not going to see
tonight.
James Bond.
Yeah, I sure am. You know it. Would I ever lie to you about that? Nunez throws into traffic. Henderson nearly had his first pick of the game. That would have been, or rather, number 3, Larry Morris. That shook me up. Incomplete and a turnover on downs.
Are you going to see James Bond tonight, really?
Oh, yeah. I've never seen any James Bond before.
You've never seen a James Bond movie?
No.
No, you can't go see this one then. You got to start with the first one. You got to see
Really?
Yeah. Can you name? Put away your phone. Put away your phone. Can you name?
Hey, I'm doing homework.
No, can you name
got a quiz to
one
tonight.
James Bond actor? Name one.
Oh, man, who's the main guy? He was just on Kimmel. What's his name?
We'll get back to that. I'm going to give them all to you, and I know them in my head.
Oh, really?
I do.
Here, let me check my phone. I'll be right back.
Nope.
Overthrown, intended for Kirby.
Okay, I'm going to give you the hardest one. I'm going to go through it without any notes. You see, I'm not. George Lazenby.
George Lazenby.
See, George Lazenby.
Okay.
Sean Connery. Have you ever heard of that guy?
Of course, John.
Have you ever heard of Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah,
No, you haven't. Roger Moore?
definitely not.
Okay, forget it. We're done with the James Bond yet. You're not going to see it tonight.
You're not going to let me?
No, you're not going to. I just know you're not. So knock it off. Knock it off. That's low-hanging fruit. Remember, I warned you.
Oh, yeah. But Squid Game, now that's something to watch. Jet sweep, and somehow he slips out of the line. Bailey Brown turned what could have been a 5-yard loss into a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, I tried to watch the Squid Game the other day.
Oh, I'm sure you love the complexity of.
I
the
saw
show.
the part of the first episode, and it was
Oh, yeah.
it was, they're dubbing voices. I really have a hard time. If
You
they're
know-
not speaking English, it's really hard for me to watch it because it's goofy voices.
Yeah, the Korean language is so much different, sentence structure and everything. Here's Henderson. He is stuffed to the line of scrimmage.
But I'll get around to it.
I'm sure you will.
I'll have watched it all by next week.
Oh man.
So yeah, I suggest you start with like Moonraker. If you go James Bond, now go home and
Okay.
just write that in your phone. Moonraker.
Moonraker. I'll remember that.
You remember there's a character in the movie called Jaws.
Really?
Yeah. He was about 7 feet tall, and he would like chew everything with his metal teeth. Jaws.
Fascinating. I just figured they were just
There's another guy.
high action movies.
No,
I
no.
thought
They're always action movies, but they always have a henchman. There's always an evil henchman there's a unique quality. There's another guy they had named Oddjob. Have you ever heard of the Oddjob? He was this portly fellow with a hat, and he would take off he had like a cool top hat, and he would take it off and throw it, and it was a blade. The hat was a blade, and he would he would chop off the heads of statues. That's how solid this blade was. Oddjob. You have Spectre. See, you opened a whole new can. See,
I sure did.
you really need to get. There's like 22 movies in
22?
it. I believe so.
That is crazy.
Our guys in the truck are like, yeah, Jeff knows this is James Bond.
Who's the main character? I don't think you brought up the
James Bond is the main guy. That's
yeah, but what's it?
Just stop.
You know what I asked.
Spectre.
Yeah.
So it's the whole group.
Yeah, jeez. It's a 4th down and 3, and Henderson might have been stopped short. Addison Jones, number 99 on the tackle. He might have gotten shaken up at the end of it.
No, I think he's got the first. I think it's a positive spot here.
Like,
I
quite a
don't know.
generous spot.
A very generous spot. Oh, here we go with the chain gang. We can see.
Yes.
Oh,
Didn't
let's see
get
if
that yesterday.
No, Kelvin Butler holding up the number 1 on the post over there. Kelvin Butler, the greatest UCLA center of all time. I'd say even
Really?
better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Lou Alcindor. No, I shouldn't say that. But a Hall of Famer as well. Played at UCLA. Played at John W. North High School. He's gone against the grain as well. You know, you don't go to North and you teach at Poly, for gosh sakes.
Yeah.
But Kelvin Butler, one of the greatest, my favorite basketball player in the history of Riverside. And there's the first down. I told you it's
First
positive.
All right, great run by Henderson. You brought up great Canyon Springs alumni. They just recently had a fullback who played a decade in the NFL, Terrell Smith.
Yeah. Are you looking up notable alumni?
I sure am, because that's my addition to this program, Riverside TV. First down from just short of midfield, early in the second, 13-0. Cloak deep to Henderson, who makes a terrific catch. Out of bounds, but if we can get an instant replay on that, maybe he did grab it in bounds.
Our camera was right there. Here it is.
Oh, here he was. Great throw from Will Cloak.
Yep. Yep. Here we go. Here's another view, another camera. Oh, out of bounds.
Very close, but our camera crew is going to catch everything.
That's award-winning right there.
He's going deep again. It's caught by Larry Morris. The Cougars torch with a long ball. Touchdown, Pauley with a late flag thrown.
I think this is going to be called against the Bears. Let's see here. Got Matt Ariano. We're going to try to mic him up at halftime.
We should.
No, we are. We're going to try. We're going to go down and chase him down, and we're going to mic him up.
I'd like to know what the practice routine is for officials. Are they sprinting the field, one end zone to the other end zone?
He does. He runs. In fact, we should have got him. Next time we get him on Riverside TV, he sprints. The very first play, he sprints as fast as he can to his spot.
Wow.
I'm always worried he's going to pull a hammy, though.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Here we go. Here's the call. Touchdown is good.
Sideline interference?
Yep. They're going to say it's.
All right. They have a deeper rule book than I know.
It must have been too close to the sidelines when they were.
The old Mike Tomlin. Henderson is one of the pistol backs, but so is Angel Sanchez. Feed to Henderson, and he runs in with ease. Touchdown, Pauley Bears, and a 2-point conversion. Good for the home team. They're up 21-0. Let's check out this throw again to number 3, Larry Morris.
And they're going to throw all night long until somebody stops them. I mean, they are wide open. When you're going man-to-man, maybe play a little prevent defense.
They
Get behind
probably
them.
should. But you know what that prevent defense does? It opens holes for Angel Sanchez.
You got to do something because they're throwing it right over the top. They're picking cherries and just scoring touchdown after touchdown.
This team certainly looks promising. Only 12 seniors, so most of the brass is set to return. Henderson, their top running back, is a sophomore. And, of course, Will Cloak, who just tossed the touchdown as a junior. On the receiving end was Larry Morris, a junior. They have just so much talent set to return for next year. Of course, the Bears are vying for a league title this season, but the future is very bright for this program.
You know, and their record doesn't indicate how much better this team has got. You know, they've had some injuries. They've had some kids that have got sick from COVID, and it's starting to come together and at the right time here as we start league play.
A tough non-conference schedule certainly hurt their overall record coming into this game. Flag has been thrown on the kickoff return from Tyler Humbles. out across the 20-yard line.
That's a block in the back, so that's going to go against Canyon Springs. They're going to be pitted up even deeper in their own territory.
So the Bears began the season with wins against Hillcrest and in a blowout at Arlington. They lost at King the week after, and they also took a loss to the best team maybe in this city. Of course, JW North might have something to say about that. Notre Vista, King might as well. That's Ramona. And then they lost at Sultana, crushed Citrus Hill last week, and the Bears are up 3 touchdowns in the first half tonight. That is their schedule so far this season. Cougars pin deep. This is a big drive for Canyon Springs, down 21-0. There's Gonzalez again, smothered at the line of scrimmage. In fact, he may have lost a yard. Big play up front.
Poly came ready to play tonight. I mean, they got right inside there off that guard and were able to sneak in. And, like you said, with a short loss.
Yeah. Keaton Stokely, a sophomore. I'm looking around. How many players who start for this team are seniors? I don't think there's any. The exception of the quarterback, Michael Luna, who's a part-time starter. Oh, all right. Bailey Brown, a senior. I got to mention that. Draw to the outside for Quincy Stewart. His first carry of the game, a good one, as he slashes for 9 out to the 17.
And you know who that guy was. Just was right here, don't you? The guy that just said hello to us. You know who that is? You didn't know who that was, did you?
No.
He was our former mayor.
Former mayor?
Yeah. He's Rusty Bailey. Now he teaches at Riverside Poly, but he was the mayor last year.
Interesting. Speaking of mayors.
No, I'm the governor.
Oh, speaking of, yeah, you're the governor.
Oh, Ben H. Lewis,
Yeah.
class of 1920. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I don't believe he was there though, because if he was graduated in 1920, that would make him over 100 years old when he graduated.
Whoa.
So yeah, but Ben H. Lewis was inducted into the Hall of Fame yesterday. So yes,
Very
we do
cool.
have from one mayor to another mayor who's right next to us. He's wearing his Letterman's jacket. And
1989 and 90 champs.
He's been 4 generations of Baileys, but man, I don't know about that. He's got his Letterman's jacket on. He's looking a little tight on him. But he's got a soccer. He's got a soccer badges, all CBL.
Very cool.
His old. He's telling us about his accolades as being a soccer guy. Now he told me last time I saw him, he's coaching girls soccer over at Poly.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's what happens when you're mayor and then you retire. You coach girls soccer.
Right. I thought he took our pin because he wanted to write something for us.
No.
He just took my pen to take it. Okay.
He's Rusty Bailey. He's everywhere.
Very nice. 8:10 to go in the first half. 21-0 Poly. Nick Rice and Jeff Gorham on a Saturday night, early October in the city of Riverside. Nunez sets up the middle screen for running back Joseph Castellanos. Short game before he is dragged down by Michael Luna, who couples as quarterback and also linebacker for the team. That's a pretty interesting 1-2 position combination for Luna.
They got 4 receivers. They're going to try to throw the football here, it looks like.
With Oscar Nunez, just a sophomore, seems to be growing up every week in this offense. Nunez gains a couple on the ground. That should set up about a 3rd and 9 for Canyon Springs.
Yeah, he ran out of bounds a little too soon. It looked like he had some, could have got an extra few yards. Said, I'm not
A business decision.
I am jumping out of bounds.
So halftime should be a little bit longer, should it, Jeff Gorham, with all the homecoming festivities?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of young ladies and gentlemen dressed up like they were going to a wedding or a prom, so
Yeah.
it's got to be something.
A homecoming king and queen is going to be announced tonight. Nunez's pass is deflected and taken away by Ben Medure. Interception for the Bears.
Ben Medura, Poly family's been around for a long time. What a great play, though. Hits the ball and able to keep an eye on it and get that interception. Let's see right there, right off the hands. And
A good hand-eye coordination as he tipped it first and picked it off next.
I know the Medura family, good people. It's great to see an old school name out of Riverside continuing here at Riverside Poly.
Yeah. The Medura interception leads to a first down. Will Cloak, who we saw just got crushed on one of his long passes to Henderson in the first quarter. He takes the field fresh off with a touchdown pass in the second quarter to Larry Morris. And the Bears hope to take a enormous lead here as he goes deep for a wide open Bailey Brown. Touchdown Bears.
And they're, like I said, they're going to continue to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And what a great play calling by the coaching staff at Poly High School. As I haven't seen a aerial, this is like Air Coryell. This is like the old days of Dan Fouts playing in San Diego. As they're piling on the passing yards and padding those quarterback stats.
Yeah. Deganefe is good on the extra point. Bears up 28-0. Let's check out that touchdown pass again. It seems every time Cloak is throwing, he's getting nailed.
That's okay. He can rest tomorrow. He can watch NFL. He can watch NFL football. I mean, he's playing an NFL type style game tonight. He's throwing it all over
Right.
the place.
Yeah, so not quite like Air Coryell, but the Packers have a pretty darn good passing attack. I replicate this rivalry, Canyon Springs and Poly, to like the Bears and Packers. They've met every year, sometimes twice a year. It's not only league opponents, but given how close they are, it seems they always are playing, even if it's not a conference game. And the Bears have had the better end of them for the last decade and a half.
10 in a row, you said? Looks like
10
they're en route
in a
for 11.
Bears beat them 31-6 when they played last. That was in March of 2021. This go around, the Bears are trying to double up that effort, up by 4 scores in the first half.
And the Bears, should get the ball again here
Yes.
late in the second quarter, and they get the ball at the start of the second half. I mean, this game could be out of play here quickly if they can make a couple stops. I mean, we're talking, it could be over the 30. What'd you call it, a burger? Is there
40 burger. Yeah, that's what it is. I was going to say, maybe John Rice, I don't know what speech he had. Maybe he came out with a little extra motivation tonight. Already, this is more points they've scored than in any game all year.
Putting it up, throwing the ball.
28 against Canyon Springs. Nunez pumps, throws to his right for Otrambo. Short gain. The Bears' number 46, Julius Castro, makes the stop.
Yeah, see, I will say this. It is homecoming here at Riverside Poly. My dad is a Riverside Poly graduate, and so I know he is at home watching. He is not doing so well, so it's nice that he gets to watch Riverside Poly.
Yeah. Another quick throw to Otrambo, that for a short gain. The president, good to see that he's tuned in tonight, along with all of you on a beautiful Saturday night here in Riverside.
Sorry to say 1975.
I mean, this is just another game in this stadium this week. We saw King and Roosevelt last night, and we packed the house yet again.
Yeah, it's a full house. And the lady when we parked, I'm sure she's always grumpy with me. Every time I pull in, she's always grumpy. I go,
Really?
Yeah, very grumpy with me.
Well, we bring up all these names of great coaches. I'm sure she wants her turn.
I got to get her name, but yeah, she is the most stern gatekeeper I've ever seen. I go, I'm
Really?
Riverside TV. She goes, you're not on the list. I, whoa,
Whoa.
I'm the governor. Okay, the governor needs. She was very nice, but yeah, she was first couple times I pull in, she's like, "You're not on the list." I said, "I got to be on the list. I have to be." But she let me in, so she was very nice.
You had to prove that you were working for Riverside TV. Welcome to the rest of us.
Well, she asked me for my credentials, and I'm like, and I just showed her my face and smiled. I said, she goes, "Where's your credentials?" I'm right here. It's the moneymaker, right here, the face.
There it is.
And she said, you don't have any credentials." I said, "Okay, sorry. I'll go park in the back."
You parked in the back, huh? Very nice.
She was doing her job. She was doing a great job.
I just figured slip on the return by Madure. I just figured that you were like the rest of us, where we had to work our way in every game.
No, see, I've been around since 50, and remember, I've been around Riverside all 50, pretty much 50 of those years, other than when I was living outside of the country. And now I get to come back, come back and hang out with my Riverside peeps. I love it. Love my city. What is it? Hashtag I love Riverside. Is that what they say on?
Yeah, sure is. I need to just tweet that out right now. There it is. I love Riverside.
But see, that's not you guys. That's a number sign. You guys call it a hashtag.
Are you trying to tell the people what that is?
Yeah.
Cloak pumps, fires over the middle. That's incomplete. The coverage from Julian Pineda. Incomplete.
There's a funny name of that. That little symbol right there. We're looking down there. It says, "I love Riverside." That's not a hashtag.
It's something.
No, there's a funny name, and I'll think of it here before night's over. But yeah, now it's a hashtag.
Can't be as funny a name as Elon Musk, one of his kids, AXE12. That's his name. By
What?
the way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks for sharing that one with me.
I was waiting all game. I was like, I'm going to bring out this useless tidbit that's going to totally wreck this broadcast. Bailey Brown to the outside. Ran out just short of the 50. On a different note, as I try to rescue myself here, the Bears in the first half have two quarterbacks. Both are rolling. But Will Cloak is the guy that I've been most impressed with tonight. He has been tough as nails and has been very efficient.
Well, Cloak is in. I would almost bet that they're gonna throw the football.
You think they're going to throw it deep?
They have all night.
Yeah.
And nobody stopped them.
So the receivers are Alexander, Madure, and Brown. Those are the three to the right for Pauly. Cloak looks that way. Pressure is coming, and he is nailed by Anthony Cueva. First sack of the game for the Cougars.
Cueva just got, he was there quick. Got on the outside edge there.
Maybe Henderson was supposed to chip on that play. Maybe, maybe not. But Cueva was really with a head of steam there. And that goes along with the first half. I mean, yes, Pauly has 28 points, but the Cougars' defensive line seems like they're doing their job. They've hit Cloak quite a few times tonight.
Just going to test that secondary. They've got 5 receivers.
Low snap. Cloak throws short outside to Mekhi Alexander. Second down and 15. They gain 10 on the play.
Pass complete to number 80.
Clock continuing to run.
Runner bound by number 21, Julian Pineda.
Excellent route run to the outside by Alexander. And near a first down for the Bears. That sets up 3rd and 5. Cloak looks his way again, throws to Alexander. And that's a first down pickup with one of the officials taking the brunt of that tackle from Valdez. Hope the official's okay.
He's up.
All right.
Let's hear on the replay. Let's watch on the replay, I should say. Watch the official take a shot.
They always teach you that for officials, right? Anticipate the tackle coming quickly. First down. 4 minutes to go. We'll see how the Bears play the clock as they have one timeout left. Canyon Springs has 2. They're going for it all right away, but the pass to Lejon Johnson is incomplete.
Pass intended for number 38.
Yeah, that was a great play call. It was just overthrown a bit, but that would have been another touchdown If he had just thrown it just a little softer.
So the Cougars, it appears, they are hearing us in the booth. They've got, of course, they're not quite out of the huddle yet, but it appears they have 4 DBs about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Nope, they fooled me. They're running press. They've got just one safety out. Luna the pitch, outside to Henderson, met at the 38 by Cueva and taken down.
Number 5, Tajon Henderson, the ball carrier, brought down by number 1, Anthony Cueva.
So the Bears certainly look like a team that will try and chew up some clock on this drive.
Yeah, they're going to get the ball back again, beginning of the second half.
Bears have just one receiver, that's Alexander. It's a run for Henderson, Tajon Henderson. First down Bears, out to the 32.
Hey, did you, when you had your notables from Canyon Springs, did you have Carla Stanley on there? You know who Carla Stanley is? She's a graduate of Canyon Springs in 1999.
Wow.
Do you know who she is?
No.
It's my wife. She graduated from Canyon Springs. Yeah, she was very excited that we were covering Canyon Springs tonight. She's watching at home with the boys.
A couple of Inland Empire kids finding love. Henderson out of the backfield. 1 to be to the 10. Tajon Henderson, you've got to love the first half for this guy. It's a Bears touchdown, his 3rd on the day. One of those hat tricks, Jeff Gorham.
Flag on the play. He might not get that, and it's going to be against Powley.
I'm sure Henderson is thinking, why don't I just do it again? It's been his type of night. Every time they bring him out to the edge, it appears he's got
And there was
plenty of room.
the hold there.
Fantastic first half for Pauley High School. And teams will evolve over the course of the season, and the Bears look like a team that this year, every game, they're just getting a little bit better and appear to be a team that could climb the Pep Fernandez-led rankings by the time that we see another coach's perspective this week.
We will be back this week, as we have 2 more games next week. We got a Friday night affair, and then we have Saturday at RCC.
Yeah.
So they're going to play, is it Palomar College next week?
The Comets, Riverside, the reigning national champions. We'll see if they can get back on track against Palomar, which was the school that Tom Kraft started his collegiate career. Prior to San Diego State, he was a head coach with Palomar. A dump off to Brown.
And then Tom Luganville, a big-time coach, he started at Palomar as well.
Very cool.
I saw him today on the sidelines of the BYU Boise State game.
Yeah, what a game that was.
Hank Bachmeyer, the quarterback of Boise State out of Murrieta Valley, was going against Tyler Algier, who was the running back at Kaiser High School, and now is an NFL prospect as a sophomore at BYU. So
Wow.
Riverside guys everywhere. In fact, last night.
Whoa, a little too close on that zoom.
Hey, there's John Rice. We saw a very good shot of John Rice. But last night we had Jaden Daniels versus Tanner McKee as
Yes.
Arizona State played Stanford. Tanner McKee was the National High School Player of the Year out of Corona Centennial 3 years ago. He went on a Mormon mission for 2 years. Jaden Daniels was the National Player of the Year 2 years ago out of Cajon High School and is playing for Herm Edwards over at Arizona State.
Very, very cool.
So you had the 3 greatest passers in CIF Southern Section history all playing all starting on big-time teams. Hank Bachmeyer at Boise State, Tanner McKee, and Jaden Daniels.
Without any notes. Cloak fires to Brown, and he trips over the pylon just a bit overthrown from Cloak. That might be the first pass deep from Cloak that has been off target tonight.
Continue to throw the football.
Yep, speaking of great passers, we don't have the numbers for Cloak this season, but if he played like this every game, I'm sure he'd be threatening some of those numbers you were bringing up. Players.
Oh, no. Those numbers were ridiculous. Those are video game numbers.
We're
talking about 3 guys that each broke the state record in consecutive years.
Interesting. Cloak to Alexander. Slips a tackle at the 10. Here's Makai Alexander, dragged down inside the 5 by Angel Valdez. And that runs the clock for Pauley down to under 2 minutes. So they've got a bunch of distance runners at wide receiver, does Pauley, but then they've got this kid, a great route runner, and after the catch, pretty good too.
And the size, I mean, it looks like he's about 6'4".
6'2", 175, not bad.
Pretty close.
As listed. Run to Henderson. That's a hat trick for Tajon Henderson. Touchdown, Bears.
As he holds up the 3, did you see it?
There it is. Henderson did it twice on the ground and one over the top of this Cougars defense. Frustrating night for Canyon Springs on the defensive end as the Bears take a 5-touchdown lead. Extra point good from Alishua Deganefe. Pauley High School led by the big boys. We got to mention them up front. Right tackle number 55, Jacob Fuentes, led the way on that cutback touchdown. So Pauley High School begins the Inland Valley League tonight. This was an important game for homecoming, but it's also an important game in the league. Right now, Vista Del Lago is the team looking down on Pauley High School because they're 2-0 in the league. They play Paris next Friday, but this Inland Valley should be pretty interesting with Lakeside, Moreno Valley, and these 2 schools as the 5 clubs in this league.
Yeah, and Moreno Valley last night took a loss. They didn't even play in their game.
Oh.
So we're going to find out, later on what the problem or the challenge was that game was not played.
Moreno Valley is just 2-1 this year. 3 games played for them. Big hit from Fuentes of the Bears, Felix Fuentes. So you're looking at a team like Canyon Springs and Pauley who played 6 games. Moreno Valley only 3 games. So it seems like they've had an issue for quite a while over there.
Yeah, there's a few teams. In fact, Pacific High School in San Bernardino yesterday decided to cancel their football program.
Yeah, I heard about that by the wonderful Pep Fernandez.
He's okay. He's not wonderful.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's
okay.
What am I talking about? So if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be you and me again, buddy. Friday and Saturday, Jeff Gorham. Right back here a week from now. I was going to say, if I'm not mistaken, do we have a doubleheader on
Friday? Yes, we do. I couldn't tell you what it is right now, but I will let you know later on in the broadcast.
That's why you got to stay tuned right here on Riverside TV. Bears up 35-0, but the Cougars have established some terrific drives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, so Canyon Springs calls Alexa timeout because they had too many guys in the field. They said, hey, let's figure out what we're doing here.
Yeah.
We're up against it here. We've got to make good decisions. And let's see if Pauley goes and shows blitz here.
So John Rice is one of those guys wearing the white and green shirts. He believes his team could, quote, turn the corner this season. Does it look like they will do that?
I think they've already done it. I think they did it when they came in 2 years ago as assistant coaches at Pauley. And they just continued the great rebuild here at Riverside Pauley.
Good coverage from Sanchez. The throw to Marquez Velasquez is incomplete.
And this is where it can get a little dicey. If Canyon Springs elects to keep throwing the football here, Pauley still has a timeout. They could possibly get the ball back and maybe get a playoff.
35-0, never a good score for any coach as they go to the ground, and Otrambo gains about 7.
So yeah, that should.
Or Castellanos.
That should be possible. Well, third down, clock is running. Are they trying to get a score here?
Another Castellanos run into the hole, met by Luna, and he may have been stopped short.
Yeah, Polly's probably going to call a timeout here. Let's see if they do.
Now it's a first down.
Oh, they did move the stick, so this should end the half here.
Early movement in the outside, the jump from Thetford. The Bears defense. False start. Bears defense averaging 21 points per game allowed this season. How about tonight for those numbers?
Great defense. Both teams came in averaging 17 points a game each.
Yeah.
So pretty close scoring-wise. We didn't have the stats for Canyon Springs, but both averaging 17 points a game, 17.5, I believe.
I would say you're correct.
That.
What? Canyon Springs already having beat a Riverside school. They took down the Arlington Lions 16-6 15 days ago. This could be the final play of the half. Joseph Castellanos on the call. And indeed, that should do it.
We're going to have a little longer halftime due to it being homecoming.
Yeah, Jeff, we'll probably see you in about an hour. Homecoming halftime festivities just about ready to get underway here from King Stadium in Riverside. Riverside TV Game of the Week, it's the Bears 35 and the Cougars nothing. Will Cloak, the quarterback, and Tajon Henderson, the running back, coupled for an all-out blitz of that Cougars defense through the first 24 minutes.
Yeah, great half by the Bears. Like I said, all in the air for the most part. And Henderson had himself a great first half and will continue here in the second half.
Bears 35, Cougars nothing, right here in the Riverside TV Game of the Week. We're back for more in just a moment.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women but want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I wanted to because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be perfect.
Today is our very first building of a Little Free Pantry. We are building a Little Free Pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares is an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD, road traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431. And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I wanted to because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be perfect.
our very first building of a little free pantry. We are building a little free pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other, instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431. And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver, and now that the city of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I wanted to because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be it's perfect.
Today is our very first building of a little free pantry. We are building a little free pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
Engine.
Welcome back, King Stadium in Riverside, California. Riverside TV Game of the Week features the Bears and the Cougars. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham. Jeff, first half, no contest.
No, it was Air Coryell, I should say, Air Rice. Coach Rice had the aerial display in full bore as Will Cloak, was just phenomenal, throwing the ball right over the top of the defenders of Canyon Springs. That secondary was tested, and they did not pass that test as the Bears really took control of that first half. Hopefully, Canyon Springs can make some adjustments here, and we can have a tougher matchup here.
Well, the Bears took their midterms as we are halfway through the semester, and I'd say they did pretty okay. Pauley is looking at an opportunity. We brought this up yesterday. In the playoffs, you have 16 teams per division. They're looking at an opportunity to keep this winning going. Pauley High School very easily will make the playoffs and have a pretty nice opponent if they keep this up.
Yeah, it would be great for the entire Bear program. Like I've said on previous occasions, they're 100% bought in by this team. You watch it on the sidelines, they're completely focused during the games, and Coach Rice and Coach Powell are really doing a great job. The entire staff and the players by themselves have just really turned the corner. I think that we're seeing this Bears team that's going to be very, very good for years to come.
Meanwhile, for Canyon Springs, they come in fresh off of a terrific 4-win campaign throughout the non-league schedule. Cougars come out tonight and met their match. Bears have won 10 in a row against Canyon Springs, looking for another. Return to begin the second half from the 10 for Henderson. And he is caught at the 33-yard line and dropped by Isaiah Garcia. First down, Bears, fresh off of a scintillating 3-touchdown performance from number 5, Tajon Henderson.
And we could see a lot more of Henderson here in the second half. If Pauley can score here, we're going to have a running clock.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to keep the ball on the ground for the most part if that is the case.
Now, you talked about Angel Sanchez playing with a broken arm, wanting him to tote the rock. I think John Rice might have been right to avoid any further injury to that arm, at least in the running game. But he is in the block, and Henderson gets crushed. Another big hit in the backfield by the Cougars' Addison Jones, number 99.
Yeah, great hit there from Jones.
Let's check that out one more time.
He said, "How do you do, sir?"
How do you do?
Nice to meet you.
Also number 44 for the Cougars, in on the stop, Marco Martinez. It's a 2nd and 13. First pass of the second half for Pauley, and it's another big play. Across midfield for number 28, Ethan Jackson. Phenomenal start to the second half for the Bears, 35-0 and looking for more. This is a team that, if they can keep this passing game going, will be very dangerous down the stretch of the league, with 3 more conference games coming up beginning next Friday with a visit to the Vikings of Moreno Valley High School. If indeed Moreno Valley is set to play them next week. Here's Angel Sanchez with a head of steam. There he goes to the 40. And is pulled down just across the 35-yard line. Sanchez for 13 and a first down.
He's got a broken arm. I can't even walk with a ingrown toenail. He's got a broken arm out there carrying the football.
And there he is coming out of the game. You can see it. He's carrying the ball and trying to get his arm out of the way. Let's look at that run again for Angel Sanchez. Look at him actually, forget that. He's trying to straight arm with the cast.
It's a weapon. It's an extra weapon.
That's a Jack Youngblood type of run. Youngblood played here in LA, or obviously not here in Riverside, but close in LA for the Rams. And in the Super Bowl, he had a broken leg and still went running.
Well, you talked earlier, that they had their, Pauley had their first Bears of Distinction Hall of Fame ceremony. As we're going to go through the list to start here with some of the dignitaries. Jose Medina is a teacher and a politician. He went to Poly, worked for Poly from 1994 to 2011. He was inducted yesterday.
First and 15 after the penalty. Another big hit from Cloak. Elijah Gonzalez supplied the pressure. That pass is complete for a gain of 6 to Bailey Brown.
Lauren Potter, an actress that was on Glee, graduated in 2009. Actress Tyler Clary was the gold medal swimmer, class of 2007. And then there's the Millers, Cheryl and Reggie. I think most of us have heard of them. You know, Reggie, you wrote me a little note, lost to the Lakers in the 2000 finals.
just wanted to remind you, everyone thinks Reggie Miller is this great player, and he was Hall of Famer. One of the greatest shooters of all time. Pump fake, Cloak gets nailed. There's a flag deep to Makai Alexander. What a catch. Touchdown, Pauley Bears.
Wow, what a great pump fake and perfect strike. As I think they're going to, let's see if they're going to pick up that flag.
Play of the day right there, even with Henderson with all those runs.
Holding on offense, so that's going to negate the touchdown.
But it doesn't negate the highlight that we just saw.
Yeah, we didn't see a flag in the highlight, so he can use that and say it was a touchdown. That's what I would do. Okay, so we go to mention Cheryl Miller, the greatest women's basketball player of all time, 5-time Olympic gold medalist and 3-time Naismith Player of the Year.
3 times in a row in college, 82, 83, 84. Best player in all of college. That's crazy.
She's the greatest player of all time, I should say. Carol Richardson, class of 1981, the tennis player and teacher. Sippy Woodhead, gold medal swimmer, graduated in 1980.
What an opening class, Jeff Gorham. Brown to the 40. Foot race outside to the 30-yard line. And that's a touchdown-saving tackle. Excellent run from Bailey Brown with Jadola stopping him from the end zone.
What can Brown do for you? An awful lot.
Yeah.
Apparently in that big run. As we go through, Ray Smith, class of 1956, an accomplished athlete and coach. Dell Roberts, the Golden Toe, a Riverside leader. Was a great player. And Ben H. Lewis, 1920 Riverside mayor.
The Golden Arm, that's Angel Sanchez at the 20-yard line.
And then Walter Gordon, the class of 1912. He was a Berkeley All-American and the governor of the Virgin Islands. But I will say this:
governor of the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, here's my favorite. Here's my favorite though. It was my dad's best friend, Roger Folsom, class of 1954.
Yeah.
He was a 3-sport collegiate athlete, and he was all CIF in 4 sports. The greatest athlete. He is the best athlete Riverside, the city of Riverside, has ever had. Hands down, no joke. He's the best.
Well,
Roger Folsom.
There's 3 athletic seasons, so he must have played 2 sports at the same time.
He did.
Wow.
Played baseball and track. And he was all CIF in both.
That is insane.
His grandson is the starting center fielder for the San Diego Padres. Jake Marisnik was also a World Series champ when the Astros cheated a couple years ago.
You heard it here first.
He wasn't a cheater, but he was on that team. I am, of course, a Angel fan. But no, Jake Marisnik, a great baseball player, still playing in the major leagues, grandson of Roger Folsom.
I'm sure you saw Chris Taylor in the Dodgers the other night. I'm just kidding. No, you didn't.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Of course I did. I'm an Angel fan, though.
I know. Feel bad for you. Trout and Otani, just an incredible 1-2 combo for the Angels. We'll see if they can put it all together at some point.
Another notable alumni, Riverside City employee Beth Miller, out of Canyon Springs, is watching us tonight. So I should say Beth Florio now.
What a run from Will Cloak, the 4th touchdown Bears with no flag on the field.
So we do have some Canyon Springs alumni. Like I said, there's Riverside employee watching us, Beth Florial. So yes.
Now apparently, you know the greatest alumni of them all.
Well,
Canyon Springs.
My wife, she was okay. She was a tennis player.
So, the fourth sport athlete, Folsom.
Roger Folsom. He was also
What were the
athletic-
sports? You remember them?
Yes, basketball, baseball,
Basketball.
football, and track.
Wow.
He was an All-American,
That
though.
is insane.
He was an All-American in 3 sports in college, but he was a longtime athletic director at La Sierra High School. He was the athletic director at Norte Vista High School. He started with my father in '68 at Norte Vista, and they are still very close friends. My dad's hero, and just I want to tell you, one of the greatest families in the history of Riverside. His daughters, wonderful people, and like I said, grandson Jake Music, great
That
baseball
is
player.
really, really cool. And it's just a little bit different here in Riverside. You see all these guys, and it's family. You recognize all these last names by this point because of all the alumni. One name that we didn't mention tonight. We haven't mentioned him, and you know, I believe that we should have. John Rice's son, head coach of the Bears, John Rice. Shout out to number 21 of Pauley High School. That's got to feel pretty cool.
It's nice to see him back. He didn't play last week, so it's nice to see him back in uniform.
Kickoff on a hop to just inside the 10 for Jabala. And he's down to about the 23-yard line. 7:08 to go in the third quarter. Bears in a rout on Riverside TV.
Tackle by number 32, Israel Morales.
And we should be getting a running clock shortly
Yeah.
here, unless the two coaches decline to have a running clock here in the second half.
That
Up
would
40.
be crazy. We'll see. John Rice and the Bears look on. It's a 1st and 10. To the inside for Joseph Castellanos. In what has been a rough night for the Cougars, Castellanos has gone over 100 yards. The tackle by Julius Castro, it's a first down. Number 8, Joseph Castellanos, 5'7", 175, and he has been terrific.
Moving those legs quickly, tough move, tough player.
Luna makes the stop of Castellanos, gain of 2. So this might be one of the last times to talk about Joseph Castellanos, number 8. He's got to be the player of the game for them tonight.
But who will be the Dell Roberts player of the game for the Bears?
Yes.
There's a
And-
couple good ones.
Yep. Michael Luna, quarterback and also linebacker. Pretty good nominee. There is the mini Bettis, Elijah Gonzalez on the right side, down to the 38. That's enough for a first down. So the 3 players I would think about: Michael Luna, number 11, quarterback, linebacker; Bailey Brown, number 7, cornerback and wide receiver. And who would I have at 3rd?
Will Cloak and
Tajon
Tajon
Henderson.
Henderson. Come on.
Oh, that's right.
He's got
Tajon
the hat trick.
And
I'm
on
gonna
defense, pretty good too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say, though, I'm going to go with either Will Cloak or Tajon Henderson right now.
Will Cloak. Well, the Bears, pretty young as a roster, but not quite as young as the King quarterback, just a freshman, and he played very well yesterday.
Was it Noah Harris?
Harris, yep. Noah Harris. Great performance by him in King High School. Wolves fell a bit short against Roosevelt, but it was a terrific game. Next week, Riverside TV shows off a doubleheader. JW North takes on Hemet, and Ramona is at Norte Vista.
Yeah, that's
Those are
the
two games.
the great uncle. They call it the big, the granddaddy football game. No, it's the great uncle game of.
Great uncle?
Yeah. It's not the granddaddy, it's the great uncle.
The Rams will put their 7-0 record to the test against Notre Vista this coming week.
And they're 6-0.
So that should be a fantastic game. Two teams ranked among the best in the city of Riverside. Number 50, Kevin Robinson, is escorted off the field for the Cougars. But the Rams and Notre Vista, how do you think that game is going to go this coming Friday?
Oh, I think it's going to be great because Notre Vista has the number one defense probably in the southern section right now. They're holding teams scoreless for the most part. But the Ramona High School Rams and Ken Mashinsky are throwing the football all over the place. They've got a huge offensive line, and they've got some weapons offensively. So it's going to be offense versus defense. Ken Batdorf's going to have to score in droves if they want to keep up with that high-powered offense.
It seems like every time Trent Rush is on a game, it's a great game. I remember last year, and back and forth matchup between Pauley High School and I forget the opponent they played, but it was a shootout in favor of the Bears back in 2019. I guess I should say 2 years ago. Should be fun to hear you and Trent Friday nights. Kickoff at 7. Right here on Riverside TV, here is Oscar Nunez going for the deep ball. Underthrown and intercepted. A terrific game today by the man on the return. Here he goes, cutting back to the 20. And down to the 25. Not mistaken, that is Ben Madur. .448 to go in the third quarter. Ben Madur, I just had to double check. What a performance for Madur tonight. That's his second interception.
They're going to call an unsportsmanlike, I think, on both sides. I think they should be offsetting. Let's see here.
Well, a welcome to the Dell Roberts Player of the Game nominee, Ben Madur. 2 interceptions.
Another guy.
A junior, 5'7", 160. Big play for the Bears.
And there's personal foul on defense. So they're going to offset. Yeah, look at that. I got it right.
There it is. Very nice. Now, if only you could read who the numbers were and everything else he said. Great play by Madur. I was so amazed. I thought Madur wasn't near the play. He comes right in and picks it off over Brown Thomas. And the Bears have a 1st and 10. Just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Pauley High School with a 42-0 lead over Canyon Springs.
The referees have not signaled a running clock, so maybe the coaches or one of the coaches decided to not elect a running clock.
That would be interesting. So Pauley, of course, has played well against these guys, as mentioned, 10-0. But if I'm looking here at the history, if they score another touchdown, it will match the largest margin of victory they've had in at least 2 decades. Bears somehow beat them 49-0 in 2018. So Pauley has been here before, but this year looks a little bit different because the Bears have a 2-quarterback system that I'm sure mixes up defenses and all sorts. And Cloak has been on his A game tonight as quarterback.
Delay game against Pauley.
And just as I say that, Cloak was late for the snap. Because of course. Great performance tonight by the Bears. Play fake to Henderson. Cloak is immediately under duress and throws into the dirt. So it was brought up yesterday. I asked you about coaches in the city of Riverside that have won league championships with these various teams, and you you were on your A game last night.
I was very disappointed, though. I didn't say
Dennis or Derek Johnson.
Derek Johnson. In fact, I talked to Derek Johnson's one of his best friends today, and he said something to me about that. And I'm like,
oh,
yeah. They picked up the flag, so.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they thought it was a grounding. So
all right.
There's John Rice.
So getting on that, John Rice takes over a program that last won a title in 2014. Since then, the Bears have had 2 other coaches, Opalani Vepulu, rookie coach with JW North now, and Derek DeWitt from 2016 to 2018.
And Derek DeWitt really brought on Bill Powell and John Rice on his staff. And Coach DeWitt, I'm going to be honest with you, was a phenomenal coach. I just think he decided he didn't want to do it anymore, but he's the guy that won an ESPY. He won an ESPY.
Won an ESPY?
He did. He won an ESPY. I believe he was. I don't want to say it's.
By the way, John Rice is coming into the game. Just want to point that out.
John Rice, but yeah, won an ESPY. A great guy. He's really started this program in the right direction. And Bill Powell and John Rice really have taken on what DeWitt had started and continued. And I know Coach DeWitt still works at Riverside Poly and a big fan of the Bears. I'm sure he's here tonight watching.
Yeah, we certainly hope for nothing but the best for Opalani Vepulu with JW North. He comes right in, wet in the ears now with the Huskies, and I mean, he just looks like a natural in his first season as head coach. Now, he has head coach experience before, but first with JW North. Venancio Michele. Cloak looks to his left, and he's trying to go deep. He launches to Brown, and had they just been a little bit more on target, that's a catch and a first down for Brown from Cloak.
That's Dennis Brown's son,
Oh, what?
Yeah, there you go. That's another tidbit you might want to know. That's
all right.
Dennis Brown, who was the coach at North last season.
That was the guy who won the Poly League Championship 2014.
That's his son.
Very, very cool. So that's what I'm saying. It's the city of Riverside is just so different with all the coaches bringing in their kids, all of the former players and their kids come into town and try and continue that excellent tradition. Here's Henderson to the inside, who dances to the 18. I mean, it's just different. Like in today's day and age, you see all these guys, like they'll go to whatever program they think best fits them, and you know, guys will transfer all the time, but that's not the case here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the first time we've seen him, the Bears punt, I believe, isn't it? Have the Bears punted tonight? You're the guy that knows all these things.
Yes.
They have.
They have not. No, I'm saying yes, you're right. They haven't punted yet.
I'm right about that.
Yeah. In fact, I don't even know who the punter is. They've got 2 deep to return, Tyler Humbles and Daniel Otrambo. I guess it should be my job to know who is the punter for the Bears, right? That's Eli Deganefe down to the 47-yard line. For the Bears, Adrian Torres with the grab.
I'm still a bit confused why we don't have a running clock.
Yeah. More Bears and Cougars football and a matchup right out of the jungle.
Oh, look at that.
Would a bear be in a jungle?
Of course there's bears
Okay,
in jungles.
all right.
Haven't you not seen the Jungle Book? Baloo, I think that's his name, the big bear.
No, but I did see Carol Baskin and Tiger King.
No, there's Tiger King 2 coming out. Did you know that?
Oh, what? Tiger King 2? I got to watch it. On Netflix.
I don't know how you can do it, though. The guy's in jail or prison.
I know, right? What are they going to do?
What was his name?
I forget his
He's got a mullet,
Carol
though.
Baskin. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. How did he go to jail again?
Because he tried to kill Carol Baskin.
Oh, yeah, duh. Of course. Remember I said I watched the show?
Yeah.
False start. Jeez.
Might have been some cougars at the Carol Baskin Zoo.
Yeah. Oh, man. Netflix, a lot of great stuff on there.
Stop it. There's nothing good on that. Nothing. There's nothing at TV. Come on.
High quality content. 2nd down and 9 from the 46. Oscar Nunez, the quarterback, feeds to Joseph Castellanos. Spilled to the 40 by Noah Thetford, number 87.
Number 8, Joseph Castellanos, the ball carrier, run down by number 87, Noah Thetford.
Nick Rice and Jeff Gorham tonight on Riverside TV. 2:10 to go in the 3rd. Bears have only shut out the Cougars once in the last 10 years. That was 2018. We'll see if they can pull that off tonight. An inspiring run from Elijah Gonzalez, taken down by Michael Luna and Makai Alexander.
Number 31, Elijah Gonzalez, the ball carrier.
They moved the sticks, so Canyon Springs showing some life here deep into the 3rd quarter.
A terrific drive by the Cougars, led by number 8, Joseph Castellanos. That shows the sort of respect that the Cougars offense has with Kyle McFadden as head coach to lean on Castellanos. I'm sure they'd love to throw the ball to try and avoid the shutout, but Castellanos might just be their best option with just how great he's run the ball tonight for Canyon Springs. He's in the block. Here's Nunez, who launches deep over the post, just a bit high, intended for Gabriel Meade. Incomplete. Gabe Robinson on the coverage. So, John Rice, the head coach, you brought up last week, or when you last talked to him on the coach's perspective.
I had Bill Powell on last week.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Very cool.
What did I ask John Rice?
I'll let you know about the great questions that you asked him. A short run from Gonzalez. In and out or Five Guys was the cool first question that you asked him. And he asked, what is Five Guys? That hurt a little bit when he asked that question. But that was a cool answer. In and out or Five Guys, what about you?
In and out. Man, I don't want to pay $40 for a hamburger. So Five Guys is expensive, man.
Well, a hamburger, we all know, goes great with peanuts, right?
They do have peanuts there, huh?
Just a couple. Oh, it's a fumble from Elijah Gonzalez.
I think the Bears have it.
Crushing end of the drive that the Cougars couldn't recover. Oh, how did they get to the bottom of that pile? Number 71, Mikel Baltierra, scoops it up. Great job up front by that Bears defensive line, jarred away by Ethan Jackson on the forced fumble.
I haven't heard much from Ethan Jackson, but Ethan Jackson, a fantastic player for the Bears.
6 foot, 205-pound junior for Pauley High School. Final play of the 3rd quarter to Castellanos in the backfield. And he is stacked up at around the line of scrimmage. 3rd quarter is complete. Bears 42, Cougars nothing. The tackle from Israel Morales.
They actually stopped the clock. We got 2 seconds left, buddy.
Or I'm sorry, by Angel Sanchez, who is hobbling right now. So he has a broken hand or arm, and there goes his leg. And I'm sure he's still going to play the 4th quarter.
Of course he is.
Got a little tied up there. So John Rice also received 3 other questions from you in the coach's perspective. Next was favorite literary character, Iago from Othello.
Oh, that's a dark character. See, those of you that know Othello, he's a bad guy, not a bad guy, a dark and brooding character.
Ooh, rough. Star Trek or Star Wars? He said Star Trek, but the original Star Trek.
Yeah, with James T. Kirk, the USS Enterprise.
And I was thinking I would much rather do the Star Wars for sure.
You don't know any of those things. You've never seen Star Wars or Star Trek.
That's right. And then the final question was his best friend, and he went his wife. Oh, that is just so nice.
His wife's nice. She's wonderful. The entire Rice family is
That's
wonderful.
right. I just randomly met John Rice's wife before a game, and she's out there trying to boost, be one of the boosters for the program. That's really cool. Is your wife a booster for Riverside TV?
No, my wife doesn't watch me on TV. She sees me.
Oh,
She sees me on a regular basis. Heck,
Yeah, she
I don't
said
even want to see myself. I don't even look in the mirror anymore. I took all the mirrors out of my house.
Oh, did you?
I did. There's no mirrors in my part of the house.
But I'm sure you have echoing Riverside TV audio around your house,
No,
too.
you're kidding me. My kids watch it occasionally just to say they saw me, but that's about it.
Oh, yeah. They just tune into the fourth quarters of these games.
Oh, yeah, because they got to realize that Dad is always gone. Busy. I'm just a busy guy. So they say hi to me on the TV. But there's Dad.
Is he having oh, nope. He's on Riverside TV again. Jeez.
And we'll see now if they're going to have a running clock. If not, that was a choice made by the coaches not to run it.
We will see in just a moment. Start of the fourth quarter for the Bears, and they'll go on the ground. Hard-nosed run from Morales down to the 31-yard line. Number 32, Israel Morales. Sophomore. Jacob Montez on the tackle. I guess we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see if it's a running clock,
Yeah.
Jeff Gorham. But we are definitely in the fourth quarter, for those of you watching. 42-0 Pauley Bears with the lead. Now our scoreboard on the field says third quarter. That's just how much they love this game. They want to see a fifth quarter underway. Run from Johnny Monforte. Short gain.
Number 41, Johnny Monforte, ball carrier. Tackle number 10, Jamari Miller.
If you had a choice to ask him another question, what would you ask John Rice? But you know so much about him, I'm sure you don't need to.
I want to know why.
He probably elected not to run the clock. Maybe that's a question to ask him. Right?
We'll find out. John Rice, he's a treasure trove of. He's a Shakespearean. He loves Shakespeare.
Oh,
smart guy.
I'm a smart guy too, you know. Love those. Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, stop. Low hanging fruit. Well, looks like they've elected to not stop the clock. So a little surprising here.
Yeah.
Oh, there they go. They're going to run it.
Ball started against the Bears.
We'll have the. Want to get him right. Dell Roberts.
The Dell
Roberts Award coming up. Say maybe about 2 minutes left, fourth quarter, 2-3 minutes. You never know if we have a crazy play coming up here in the fourth quarter. This punt bounces across the 50-yard line past Humbles and is down at around the 41. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Riverside TV, Nick Rice on hand alongside Jeff Gorham as the regular season is winding down, and every year doing this on Riverside TV, there's just a totally different feel and atmosphere when you get ready for a big playoff game. I mean, it's just, there's nothing like it in the CIF Southern Section.
The feel is palpable, and I tell you what, everybody loves playoff football because, you know, so many Riverside teams, Inland Empire teams do so well in the CIF playoffs. And I'll tell you what, Poly could really cause some damage if they make the playoffs here this year.
Nunez throws in the flat for Otrambo, and he makes a move, dances to the 46 for a gain of 14 and a first down. Excellent catch and run from number 9, the senior Daniel Otrambo, as the Cougars try to avoid the shutout. Bears shut them out in 2018 and crushed them in 2021 earlier in the COVID season, 31-6. But the Bears look like a team that's playing even better ball than they did last year. So first down. Here's Castellanos to the outside. He motors for about a gain of 5.
In fact, we're going to go back to the Cal High Prep projections.
Let's do it.
At Ghazal Hazan. came up with. And if we were to play the playoffs today, Riverside Poly would be in Division 14, and they would be the 14th seed, and they would play Pasadena Poly. So, and I'm going to be honest with you, if Riverside Poly continues to do well, that if they can stay in that Division 13 or 14, they have an opportunity to really do some damage. And then I'll tell you, you only need to win 4 to win a CIF championship, and they have an opportunity. By the way they're playing, and if they could set in that Division 13 or 14 area, that'd be great.
Pasadena Poly Panthers out of the Rio Hondo League would be the team that they would play. Of course, no need to even think about it. I'm sure the Bears will be playing somebody else by the time.
We will have our weekly updates. I'm sure Ghazal Hassan is working on his master computer at home.
Oh, I'm sure.
Typing in the numbers.
How many divisions are there? Do you know? Is it 14? Is
14.
it 16?
14.
Oh, so that would be interesting. So they're right there. Pauley needs to keep the winning going, and I'm sure tonight, by the tiebreakers, the power rankings, maybe they climb up to another division or two.
I'm not sure if they climb a division, but I think they climb higher seeding, which is something you would really like. Yeah, they would.
I see that you have Hillcrest as another Division 14 opponent.
Actually, Division 13, they'd be an 11 seed.
Oh.
And they would play Lakewood. So
nice.
we have let's go through all the Riverside schools.
Let's do it. Why not?
Martin Luther King would be a Division 9 2 seed as of yesterday. And they would play Laguna Beach. We talked about that. Norte Vista would be a 1 seed in Division 7, and they would play Hart High School.
Number 7, Angel Valdez on the run, taken down by Israel Morales. That's a first down pickup for Canyon Springs.
And if we head over to Ramona High School, they would be a Division 6 14 seed, and they would play Charter Oak High School.
Very nice.
And John W. North would be Division 3, a 12 seed, and they would play Upland High School. So that covers all of our Riverside schools right now that are in the mix of a playoff run.
And you mentioned already Canyon Springs.
I do not.
And their potential opponent. That was earlier tonight. But I wasn't listening, unfortunately. I forgot what opponent you were talking about. Canyon Springs, somewhere on there.
I'll have to look through the plays here. We have a injured player on the field. And hopefully that young man, as he's able to get up and walk on his own, that's always a good sign.
Youssef Jadala, number 24. Glad to see he's okay. So the Cougars out of Moreno Valley, California will try and get back off the snide next week with a home game on Friday against Lakeside. A short week for them before they take on the Lancers. Meanwhile, the Poly Bears, fresh off of this drubbing of Canyon Springs tonight, will hope to keep it going at Moreno Valley. They'll host the division-leading Vista Del Lago Ravens the week after that and are at Lakeside to close out the regular season. 1st and 10. From the 20-yard line, they'll keep it on the ground. Castellanos, who has been busy tonight on another inside run. And that's a short gain for Castellanos.
Number 8, Joseph Castellanos, the ball carries out to number 35.
A running clock to see if the Bears can hold Canyon Springs scoreless. We'll see if the Cougars can get on the board here with 5:15 left.
Cougars inside the red zone. Play fake from Nunez. Plenty of time on the rush. He looks and lobs it towards the end zone, but that is knocked away by Jeremiah Luna, who is scheduled to be in the running for one of the starting quarterback positions, number 6, as you can see on the screen.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Luna set to be one of the starting quarterbacks next year for the Bears if he keeps his progression going. And is there in the pass breakup defensively. Taking after Michael Luna as a two-way player. I'm sure they're brothers. That'd be my guess.
Are you? Are you sure?
I'm not sure. Let's see. I don't want to. I don't want to get in any trouble here tonight.
I'm sure we'll hear from Polly if they are brothers. If they're not, we'll definitely hear from him.
We'll definitely hear from him. Oh, a nice spin at the 10-yard line as the Bears try to prevent a touchdown late in the game. Valdez makes this, or rather on the run, gets stopped just short of the goal line by Luna.
So 2 big wins for Polly in 2 consecutive weeks. He took care of Citrus Hill last week. What was the final of that score? We had it on Riverside TV. Do you have that score?
Last week, 41-6. So how about 83-6 over the last 2 games? 83-12 touchdown. Castellanos with the touchdown. Well, the Cougars were knocking on the door throughout the night. This was the most impressive shutout we had seen in quite a while. Canyon Springs was constantly driving towards the Bears' red zone. They just commit critical turnovers late in some of those drives. We could have had a totally different game had the Cougars scored touchdowns on those possessions. Instead, the Bears cruise here. 3 minutes left, 42-6. Extra point from Fernando Marquez Velasquez. It's good. And as promised, with 3 minutes left in the game, let's check out the Dell Roberts Player of the Game. And there are 3 nominees. Will Cloak, the 4th. Quarterback, Tajon Henderson, running back and cornerback. And cornerback, Ben Madur. Who's your pick?
I am going with a dual pick. And I'm going to say, I'm going to go with 2 guys. I'm going to go with Will Cloak, who was phenomenal in that first half, took care of the secondary of Canyon Springs, and the young sophomore, Tajon Henderson, who has been electric these last 2 weeks in his coming out to show he is a next big superstar here at Riverside Poly High School. So those 2. Oh, that's right. In fact, you know, you talk about the Dell Roberts story. Riverside TV did a great story, an hour-long documentary on Dale Roberts. In fact, if you want to look it up, go to the Riverside TV YouTube channel and scroll through. You'll find Dale Roberts. Make sure you guys take a look at that. He has been very influential in the city of Riverside, and just a great man and good friend of the city.
Kickoff through the end zone for a touchback. We should have just one more play for the remainder of this game. Dell Roberts, who was inducted into the inaugural
Riverside Poly Hall of Fame.
Poly Hall of Fame, very cool. Well, the Bears cruise to the victory tonight, 42-7, led by Jeff Gorham's duo player of the games, Will Cloak and Tajon Henderson. Also, Ben Madur would be my pick for player of the game. He was fantastic with 2 big interceptions for the Bears on defense.
And just a complete game, team game tonight. They played great defense.
Here's John Rice. Oh, not much to speak of on his first call. No, not John Rice, sorry. Adrian Perez Renteria. Rice was trying to pave the way on the block, playing a tight end. But anyways, so a great game by the guys mentioned tonight. Also, before we even sign off, I'd like to mention Mekhi Alexander. Terrific game from him, number 80.
That's right.
With a touchdown called off the board, unfortunately.
So a complete effort by the Bears.
Yes.
As time is going to run out.
Good luck moving forward at Canyon Springs the rest of the season and their hopes of making the playoffs. Cougars next week are home against the Lancers of Lakeside. There's John Rice, a winner again, as the Bears coach pulls Pauley back above 500. They are 4-3 and now unbeaten in the Inland Valley League.
Yeah, just a great overall win for this Bear program on homecoming. And also a league opener. So you got to be happy if you're John Rice and the entire Bear Ball Club, because they are going in the right direction. Upsets can happen in league. We saw it earlier as Lakeside, I believe, beat Moreno Valley last week, which was a huge win for Lakeside.
Yeah.
And Moval now drops to 0-2 because of their forfeit yesterday. So Poly right now driving in the driver's seat of their conference.
There are 2 teams left unbeaten in the Inland Valley League. That is Poly High School and Vista del Lago. They meet in 13 days right here at King High School. Should be a good one. Cougars dropped to 4-3 with the loss, but Joseph Castellanos played very well in a 42-7 Bears win. So for the rest of our broadcast crew, Jeff Gorham alongside me, I'm Nick Grice saying good night from Riverside, California, where the Bears crushed the Cougars by 5 touchdowns. This has been another presentation of Riverside TV's Game of the Week. Good night.